You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Berg. In today's episode, I'm discussing unlocking clarity using a simple tool for busy professional women to achieve your goals.
Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place.
Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Okay, today I want to talk to you about the 5 why process, and it is a simple tool for you to be able to achieve any goal in your life. And it is actually a process that was developed by the founder of Toyota, and it's used to get to the root cause of a problem in order to find a solution. And it really can be a process for you to implement in your life, whether you're looking at maybe something going on in your work environment or in your personal life when you're trying to achieve a goal. And that's really what I want to dive into more today, is what it would look like in your personal life. And maybe there's a goal that you just haven't quite figured out yet. So let me just take a step back and consider some examples when we're looking at the professional side, right? Because a lot of times I like to talk about work-life integration. So we are a whole human here, right? And we have professional and personal obstacles that we might be encountering. But let's just look at, especially in healthcare, right? We can use the example of perhaps a patient getting the wrong medication. Now, when we use the 5 why process, we want to first state what the problem is. Obviously, the problem is the patient got the wrong medication. Now we ask why. Why did this happen in the first place? And maybe the answer is the identification process was not complete. We ask why to that. Well, maybe the patient didn't have the appropriate wristband. And then we ask why to that. Well, maybe the patient was rushed up from admitting to pre-op. And then again, right, we keep going layers deeper, 5 whys into why was the patient rushed from admitting to pre-op? And you just keep going until you find out that maybe the root cause was the hospital is understaffed and trying to get the patient in before the shift change. Now you can look at that, find a solution, and hopefully avoid the problem happening again. What I want to do is now make that little turn and talk about how the same process, when we're looking at perhaps a challenge and finding a solution, can be utilized in a way for you to achieve your goals. And I think we can also do a bit of a double twist on it here, specifically with your goals. You can use this process in a way to keep you motivated and committed, and you can also use it to dig into why you think you maybe haven't been able to get to your goals yet. Because we know the reason why we usually are not quite getting to goals in our life is because we have these limiting beliefs around what is possible. So it is a great opportunity, using the 5 why process, to really figure out what your BS is. Belief systems. Remember, our belief systems are usually ingrained in us from our younger years, and we often take on belief systems from our parents, perhaps from teachers in the past, maybe even friends, for sure, society. There are a lot of areas in life where we can pick up the BS, right? But the truth is, we want to start looking at that and deciding if they're belief systems that we want to unlearn. Now, a lot of times when I'm here chatting with you, I'm talking about new tools and concepts and ideas and things for you to implement. But sometimes the greatest growth comes when we start to unlearn things that are no longer serving us. And it really does take a bit of time, because there is often this cognitive dissonance, which is basically when we have these inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes that relate to changes and decisions that we want to make, right? So we have this one belief system on one hand, but we want to make changes in our life on the other hand. And there's this rub between the two of them, right? Like they just don't line up. And when I talk about discomfort being the currency to your goals or being the currency in your life, that is what I'm talking about. Being uncomfortable in that, because it means that you're evolving. You're changing your thoughts. You might be changing your mindset. You're taking on new actions, and they might not always line up with the belief systems that you've had for years and years. So maybe you want to make a certain amount of money in a year, and maybe it's a number that is far greater than your parents, for example, have ever made. So you have this opportunity where you think, it's maybe possible, or I would like it to be possible, or I would like to make X amount of dollars. But you have this belief that maybe it's been instilled for years and years that money is the root of all evil. So you can see where the disconnect could be, right? Like, you want to make the money, but if you think it's all evil and money is evil, then there's going to be this limiting belief that is going to stop you. So that is the rub, right? Because you have a desire to accomplish one thing, the greater amount of annual revenue. But if you subconsciously still carry the belief that your family taught you money is evil, you will likely have this challenging time in accomplishing it. So I want you to take a moment here and think about a goal that you have wanted to accomplish for some time and you just haven't quite been able to. I want you to utilize the 5 why process and figuring out why it has not yet occurred. But because here's the thing, you have to be aware of it, right? Especially if it's like this subconscious belief, you have to be aware of it in order to change it. And doing the 5 why process is what will help you. I mean, let's even just think about kids, right? They are constantly asking, why, why? And I don't know about you, but I know the answer that I often received was because I said so. And I feel like that really kind of just stifles us, right? Because if we really stop and think about it, sometimes the kids have some really good questions, and you're like, I'm actually not sure. That's what we want. We want you to question what you have learned over the years. We want you to get curious and keep asking the whys and then decide, do you like your reason, right? Like once you get through the 5 whys and you see that, like, now I get it. Do you want to keep thinking it? Do you like your reason for either doing it or not doing certain actions in your life? And keep in mind, you might get to one layer why of the process and also think, I don't know. I want you to get curious. If you ever find yourself in life saying, I don't know, just take a guess. Oftentimes, our brain wants to tell us, I don't know, because then we can remain safe. We can just stop the process and we can just remain in the comfort of what we have known for years. But that is not where we evolve. So take a guess. And at the other end of the spectrum on how to use this, right? Remember, I said we can do like a double twist on this, is if you want to find your core reason, like what is your motivation? What is your reason why to accomplish the goal? So, number one, first look at maybe why you haven't been able to accomplish it. Number two, let's get really clear on why you want to accomplish it. So, I'm telling you, this process will allow you to gain such clarity in your life. And remember, how you do one thing is how you do most things. So once you start using a specific example and start to get clear on it, oftentimes the belief that you're finding as the limiting belief might show up as a thread through your life. And once you see it, you can then change other areas as well. So let's just use the example of looking to lose weight. And maybe you ask yourself, why? Why do you want to lose weight? And maybe you say, because I want to be healthy. And it sounds like a very lovely reason, right? But in the morning, when it's time to get up and work out, or when your friends say, hey, let's go get some margaritas and nachos, and you maybe planned a salad for dinner, your brain will likely say, we can be healthy tomorrow. And that's where we remain stuck. When you start off with the 5 why process and you ask yourself, why do you want to be healthy? Maybe the next layer is because I want to feel strong. Why do you want to feel strong? Maybe the answer is because I want to be able to remain active as I age. Why do you want to remain active as you age? Maybe the answer is because I want to be able to keep up with my nieces. Why do you want to be able to keep up with your nieces? You see how this goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And maybe then the answer is because I want to be able to be an example for them of why self-care is important. Oh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. I want to be healthy versus I want to be an example to my nieces of why it's important for them to also take care of themselves. Side note, I may or may not also want to compete with those nieces at things like obstacle courses on the beach and cornhole tournaments where I for sure take the bragging rights of kicking their butts. Mark is like, really? You beat some teenagers? I'm like, no, no, no. One is not even a teenager. Yes, I did beat them. See, it's all about having fun, right? I need to ensure that they continue to think that it's their dad that will be old at 50, not me. So just take a moment and think about the different energy of how you feel when you get to that deeper why. And here's the added bonus. Once you get to that why, make a note of it. Remind yourself daily of that reason. Get into the energy of how you feel when you have that reason. Remember, we have a thought, which triggers a feeling, which moves us to action. So it is so important to have a strong feeling of commitment, of willingness to do the hard things in order to start taking action to achieve new results. The thing is, back to the alarm going off and you needing to work out, for an example, thinking about the nieces and helping to show them what is possible is way more likely to get me out of bed than I want to be healthy. Totally different feelings that are generated when I think each thought. So, now, for you, play around with this. When you have greater clarity around why you want to do something, or why you are not doing something, or how to solve a root cause of a problem, you are way more likely to take that action that is needed to make the changes that you need in order to achieve the new results in your life. Okay, friends, I am going to be sending out our monthly newsletter this weekend. So if you are not already on the email list, please hop over to michelleburkecoaching.com. Remember, Burke is Bourque. You can grab the free download on 3 steps to excel in your career without the stress and overwhelm and get started on that. You will then be on the email list and you will receive the monthly newsletter if you get on by Sunday. And you know what? If you don't get on by Sunday, just get on and you'll get the next bit of information. You get all sorts of great free extra tools like opportunities to take on more ideas and concepts and tools around mindset and productivity and time management and goal achievement. There's so much goodness over there. It's just so good, and there's much more coming down the pipeline. So, michelleburkecoaching.com. Head over there. That's what I have for you today, friends. Let's meet back here next week. But for now, make it a great day. Take care.
Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.